My name's Graeme Head. I'm the NDIS Quality and Safeguards Commissioner, which is a very long title to put on a business card. And what that in effect means is that I'm the Chief Executive and Statutory Office Holder responsible for quality and safeguarding in the NDIS. I head up an organisation that will have about 300 people around the country, about half of those people in the national office in Sydney and the rest in state and territory offices, looking after the very important functions that are part of what we're here to do: registering providers, taking and responding to complaints, overseeing the way reportable incidents are managed, and taking a different approach in the way that behaviour support is used in the NDIS. Quality and safeguarding is a really important dimension of a scheme like this, and the Commission's job is to provide that single national regulatory approach to this very important part of the NDIS, which is about participants being safe and accessing quality services. So the creation of the Quality and Safeguards Commission as part of the NDIS is a really important step forward for people with disability. We know from the work done by agencies in states and territories and their experience that historically people with disability have not felt confident always to complain about when things go wrong. Now we have a single national organisation, not only able to receive complaints, but able to take action against providers where there's clearly an issue associated with either the safety or quality of the services they're providing, and to do that in a way that's very responsive to the needs of people with disability. When the government legislated to create the Commission, a great deal of care and attention was paid to how the Commission would need to work with providers to achieve outcomes for people with disability in terms of quality and safeguarding. It's important for providers to understand that the Commission will take strong action when it needs to, but that our relationship with providers is not purely around the sharp end of regulation. It's around sharing information, it's around educating, it's about encouraging good practice. And to go back to that concept of proportionality, it's about taking the right kind of action depending on what's happening in the system. Every aspect of the Commission's approach in its regulatory work is designed to be proportionate. And what that really means is that we design our business processes and our responses to situations giving careful attention to the type of organisation we're dealing with, as well as the types of risks that we're dealing with. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. The entire approach is designed to make sure that people have in place the right things to properly protect the rights of people with disability, and that those things also suit their business model. For people with disability who are participants in the NDIS and the people who are part of their formal or informal support networks, it's really important, I think, for each of them to understand that the Commission is here to drive better outcomes for people with disability. It's not here to represent a national version of the status quo that existed before. It's here to lift the bar. So every complaint or every incident is a thing in its own right, but it's also a window into what's going on in this system and an opportunity for us to say, is this just a random problem, or is this an example of a wider issue where, using one of our other tools, we can actually prevent that from happening in the future.